to talk to you about stories. Stories, because we love stories. Everybody loves a good story. But here's the thing. Do you know that every human being has a story? And that story is determined by a life script. And depending on what's in that life script, that story can be, oh, so fantastic, riveting, oh my God, just so great. It could be tragic. It could be boring. It could be like, what kind of story was that? We are all over the map with our stories. And the interesting thing is, our stories are scripted in our subconscious mind. And most of us don't even realize, we're running a script. Now, the interesting thing about it, and I know you've experienced this, have you seen someone and they're living their lives in a certain way and they keep running this same loop over and over and again, meeting the same person, getting that same sucky job, having the same accident? It's like they're in a loop. And you see them making decisions and you're like, that was stupid. Why did they do that? That made no sense. That was illogical. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. But you know what? We can see other people's stories a lot better than we can see our own. And I guarantee you, we all have things in our life script that need to be rewritten. We all have something in our stories that's keeping us playing like this when this is available. Keeping us stuck and looping when so much is available to us, but we can't take hold of it because we're stuck in a script that says, oh, no, don't do that. Oh, people like us, we don't do that. Oh, those rich people, we don't want to be that. Oh, those people over there that think God, oh no, we don't want to be them. And so we all have these little beliefs coded into our life script that actually tethers us to a less than life. And the thing that spirit, life, universe, God, whatever, the thing that this force does is it comes and it taps us on the shoulder. And it asks us, hey, do you like this? Do you like this? You want to keep doing this? Or maybe you want to do this over here. And this is what we call a call to adventure. And unfortunately, the call can look a lot of different ways. Some people get called to adventure because they see something shiny and they're like, oh, yeah, that. I want that. That's the life I want. That looks so beautiful. I want to live like that. I want to feel like that. I want to be like that. And they go toward something. But a call to adventure can also look like, I've experienced something and I never want to experience that again. And I'm going to do everything within my power not to experience that again. Or it can look like you meet somebody, seems like an accident. This person is on this road and you're like, ooh, that looks interesting. I'm going to go with you. And so you join and you become allies and you go on this adventure. Like The Hobbit. See, when we look at Hollywood stories, the Hollywood stories that really are so compelling, the reason they are so compelling is because they're speaking to our soul. Because those stories are actually telling us something about the path of human evolution. And the thing about human evolution is we're not going to evolve as a species. We're not. We're going to evolve as individuals. And if you think of the human life as a story, think of the 3-act story. The beginning is the call to adventure, the first act. The second act is the transformation. And the third act is the legacy. Now, here's the thing. If you get the call to adventure and you reject it, then the second act is going to look a little off. And if the second act is off, then what are you taking in to the legacy phase? Nothing. And so for us, the second act is the juiciest act. And in a screenplay, it's twice as long as the first and the third act. And the second act is where you get to make those choices and those decisions, and you learn the lessons, and you meet the allies and the mentors, and you learn new skills, and you discover your superpowers, and you get your butt kicked a couple of times, and you meet the dragon, and you face the monsters, and you have those battles, and you have some times when you're just fooling around and playing with your allies, and your mentor is like, what are you doing? And that's the second act. And a lot of people have not actually unwrapped their second act. Their second act hasn't been cracked open very well. And their life is like flatlined. They go to work, they come home, they do the social, they watch the Netflix, they have dinner, talk to some friends, fuss at the kids, talk to the husband, the wife, go to bed, get up, wait for the weekend, get the paycheck, blah, blah, blah. And the life is just like a loop. A very boring and predictable loop. And then they go on vacation and they have some fun, and then they come back and they go through that loop all over again. And I'm going to invite you to take your second act. Go back and see where that call to adventure happened for you. I guarantee you got one. You got several, because that's the way the universe works. It's very persistent in trying to get us to step into our magnificence. It's very persistent. And if it can't get our attention with the shiny object, and if it can't get our attention with a whisper, it will yell at us. And yeah, sometimes there's the cosmic 2x4. Now, I've experienced the cosmic 2x4. And I do not recommend that you wait until you get blindsided by something that just jars you. And now it's like, ooh, I got to do something different. You don't have to wait for that. You don't have to wait for those moments to like step into making those positive changes in your life. You don't have to wait for the sky to fall before you take responsibility for your gifts, your abilities, your talents, your skills, and rescue a dream that's been sitting on the shelf waiting for you to give it some attention. You don't have to wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Today is an amazing day to say yes. To say yes. I'm going to work my second act like a pro. Today is a great day to say, you know what? I'm going to play bigger in life. I'm going to learn to shine. I'm going to be brighter. I'm going to be more. There's more to me than just this. I'm going to find out what it is. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out. You can know. Sometimes we don't have the confidence and we don't have faith in ourselves. And I know myself, I doubt myself a lot. Self-doubt is like always lurking around the corner for me. So sometimes you have to borrow confidence from someone else. And that someone else can be just someone who believes in you more than you believe in yourself. It could be a mentor, it could be an ally, it could be your parents, a sister, a friend, grandma, grandpa, somebody that just believes in you. And they see your potential, even when you can't see it for yourself. And you can borrow their confidence until you develop your own. And if there's no person like that in your life, that's all right. I got you. If there's no person like that in your life, guess what? That intelligence that created you, you can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it life, you can call it intelligence, you can call it the big hoo-ha in the sky, the everlasting, the ultimate, the universe. That force that created you believes in you because it knows it created you awesomely. It knows that. It doesn't doubt itself. It knows its creations are awesome and amazing. And guess what? You're one of those creations. And so if there's no human being that believes in you and you don't believe in yourself, then what you're going to need to do is borrow confidence from the intelligence that architected life itself. And just borrow it until you can develop some confidence on your own. And then you move forward, and you don't have to take big steps. Sometimes we try to do these big things. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this big and lofty thing, and I'm going to go and I'm going to be a billionaire and all this other stuff. How about you start with, I'm going to get a job? How about you start with, I'm going to go above minimum wage? How about you start with, if you're not financially stable, dreaming I'm going to be the billionaire, that's so far off. And your mind is going to be like, nah, I don't think so. So you got to baby step your way. How about 6 figures? Baby step your way. Set goals that are far enough to scare you a little bit, but don't trigger all this internal resistance. Just take a small step forward that's compelling, that's exciting, that you sink your teeth into, and that scares you a little bit. And work with that in your second act. And here's the interesting thing that happens. When you do good with a little bit, this is a spiritual principle. When the life gives you a little bit and you do good with that little bit, it's going to give you a little bit more. And when you do good with that little bit more, it's going to give you more. And so basically you start to co-create with life itself. And you kind of start to get a sense that, oh, you know what? I'm not doing this on my own. I have allies. Some are human. Some are not human. I have allies. And you will find that as you start to play that game in your second act, you will gather your tribe. You will find your mentors. You will engage with life at higher and higher levels. And that relationship will become more and more intimate. And you will become more empowered. And your creations will become more magnificent. And it's something you have to say yes to, because it's not going to happen by accident. So I'm going to invite you to look at your story. Go back and look at the first act. Look at the call to adventure. And then decide what you want to bring forward and build upon in your second act.